everyone. Welcome to the B-Side Breakdown. My name is Brett Johnson, and I'm your host. This is episode 31 of a podcast where I talk with other artists, musicians, and songwriters about a song they've written that's meaningful to them, and then ideally we have a chat and get deep into the why behind it. Part of that is they give me permission to play the song in its entirety on this episode so you, the listener, can hear it all and then have an idea of what we're talking about. So today I'm going to be talking with Shannon Wilson from the band Bandages about their song Perfect Hit. So let's get into it. Here is Perfect Hit by Bandages.
Just for this one.
All right, and that was Perfect Hit by the band Bandages. We're going to take a quick break and come back and talk with Shannon Wilson. Stay with us. All right, and we're back. Let's bring in Shannon from the band Bandages to talk about their song Perfect Hit. Hey, Shannon, thank you so much for taking some time tonight to talk with me about the song, and I really apologize for all the technical difficulties we had getting up and running here.
It is all good. Thank you for having me be here.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm super stoked about the song. It's so much fun. And the lyrics, I've been trying to decipher them as best I can and looking for them online too, just to see, because there's a lot of heavy stuff going on in there, which is just right up my alley. But I love everything that the song is talking about, the energy of it. It's just super grabs me, and I want to go see you guys live. So I really just want to turn it over to you to tell me, and the listeners, why is this song particularly meaningful to you? Why did you want to talk about it today?
Right. So Perfect Hit, initially off the title. And I think like we did some of the art with it on Spotify and other streaming that, kind of look like shattered glass, kind of like a bullet hole. So your
Yeah.
brain kind of instantly goes to that, missed it to the right a bit, aiming for the perfect hit, like, that kind of terminology. But really the song is about seeing so much bad that's happening. And it's everywhere you look. Like we just have gone down this path of like nothing feels like it has improved, over the past 20 years or so.
Sure.
We're kind of tumbling down this state of affairs. And it's that realizing, even if I want to make a difference, where do I concentrate my energy? What is the perfect hit? What can I improve on? And then when you do make those changes, or you volunteer, or you start doing things like that, or you use your voice, you protest, whatever, you start to feel kind of overwhelmed by the other things that you're not making an impact in. And it just becomes, kind of overwhelming. And then you get the sense like, kind of, fuck it, I'll give up and move to Canada because it's just, where have we gone so wrong? And where do we
Right.
even begin? And that's what the perfect hit is all about. It's about, where can you focus your energy and where can you make the biggest change and the most difference?
No, that makes a lot of sense, and all that like 100%
Yeah.
resonates with me on so many levels. Like, yeah, I'm very aware of, right, just I mean, living where I live now. I live in Orlando. I'm originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and like
So
during
you're in a
the
nice red state, like I
yeah,
am. I'm in Ohio, so
right, and so like first Gulf War, I knew exactly where to go protest and why I was protesting, and I knew
yes.
what my issue was, why it was an issue for me, and how me and my peers were going to be directly impacted by some of the decisions that were being made, as well as just the nature of it all. Right, like I had a whole lot of ideology and reason and passion and drive and fire behind it, and I knew exactly where to go. And now it's, I mean, obviously 30 some odd years later, here I am thinking, yeah, I mean, I feel what you're saying. It's like there's the directions that I know I can go. I know there's a lot of the, you know, you protest or vote with your money kind of a thing. Like there's that
Yeah.
dynamic and all of those things. But still, it's nice to hear that just plainly said in the overwhelming nature of it as you described it just from this song. So thank you for putting
Right.
that out
And
there.
even, with recent elections, like you
Oh
feel
yeah,
like, like I know what party I need to be voting for, and I do vote, in that direction, but do I feel like that party represents me anymore? Absolutely
right,
not. Like
right,
I feel like it's so far beyond what any of us want. None of us want corporations to continue making billions and billions and billions of dollars, yet we have no party that is standing up for the middle class and the working class. So even your vote these days feels like ugh, you know.
Yeah, and I felt that for a long time too, just even on
Yeah.
some, and not trying to devolve into this being a political discussion
No,
necessarily,
I
because I,
mean, but
I
this
really
this
want to
song
talk
is
about the song.
political.
But
We're
oh,
a,
for
we're a
sure,
political band.
for
It's
real,
I'm not afraid of any of these conversations.
good, good, good.
So,
Yeah, I mean, but I felt that for years, like in various
yeah.
elections. I'm like, I can't tell if I'm actually voting. Like, am I voting for somebody, or am I voting, taking a vote away from somebody
Yes.
rather
Yes.
than voting for someone? But then on the same breath, or am I voting my conscience because I can't stand either? And there's an independent that I know in my heart I'm throwing away my vote. Like this is a
Right.
throwaway vote that isn't helping, but damn it, that's what I support. So,
Yeah.
and that
But
gets really
damn,
frustrating and confusing.
I'd really like my friends that have trans kids, for them to be able to get the healthcare that they need.
For
Like
sure.
we are
Totally.
voting on the most basic things, like the most basic human rights,
Agreed.
and having to hold our nose over a bunch of things that should matter. But we're like, we're so hung up on these very basic things that we just have to. It's like I'm voting for human rights, the most basic
Yep.
thing out there. It comes up, with the CEO that just got shot and killed
Right.
with United. How have we been talking about healthcare? How many years have we had this conversation? And it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And now it's brought back up to the public again. And it's like this has been a 20-year thing that people have been angry about. Like
Right.
when is something gonna break? When is something gonna give? When are people gonna see what the workers need and what the middle class needs, and the lower class, or the people that are underserved? Like it's it's the same conversation we're having over and over and over. And when we had it originally, not to go off on a rant about healthcare, but
Sure.
when we had it originally, the argument was, well, the American healthcare system is really good. You get really good, services. We have state-of-the-art technology, but we can't even say that anymore. Like we've literally gone backwards and our life expectancy is worse than other modernized countries, yet we're paying more than anybody, and it's like, how many times can you scream at this wall before you give up,
Yep. No, absolutely. I certainly feel all of that.
Yeah.
No, I really do. And I'm glad that, again, I'm just glad that y'all have put this out there and you reached out so we could have a chat about it, because it's such a good song. And that too, and that just that fires me up, and that
Right.
is really fun. So I'm going to just ask, because I'm just going to ask, are you familiar with Iron Roses?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I would just, that'd be one of my favorite shows, would be to see you both playing a show together.
Right. We have, so you're not the first person that said that.
That's fun.
Somebody else that we know was like, you really need to hook up with these guys and play, some shows with them.
Yeah, for real.
So, yeah.
They're so amazing. But yeah, no, this is great. So tell me about, okay, the band's based in Cincinnati, is that right?
Yeah, well, Cincinnati and Dayton,
Okay,
which
sure.
if you're familiar with the area, it's a very close distance,
Yep.
like 45 minutes,
Yep. I am familiar with Dayton. I've spent more time in Dayton, I think, than Cincinnati, but I am familiar with it. So I know that you all come from kind of a host of different bands, which I love that about music scenes, when it's just like, yep, we were all doing these things respectively and other things, and now we've come together to make this powerhouse of a new thing, which is awesome. How long has Bandages now been together?
A little over a year.
Okay. Wow.
So we formed not this last July, but the July before that. Our first show was not, a month ago, November, but November 2023 was our first show.
Okay. Got it.
So we are fresh. We are very new.
Good. Cool. So how many then, this part I wasn't able to fully get, but I thought I saw 4 different releases on your Bandcamp. Are those singles, or is there a full length in there? What do you got going on with that?
Yeah, we kind of dropped singles leading up to the full length being released, which the full length is released. It's on all streaming platforms.
Great.
And then actually this Friday we are having our vinyl release show. So we have physical records pressed for sale. Yeah, thank you. That's the only thing I cared about. I was like,
I know, right? It's always about, is it on a
Right.
record? I want to hear it. Come on.
I just want it on a record.
Yeah,
That's,
exactly.
that was like the one goal.
That's fun.
And so we do have the records. If somebody wants to buy them, it's bandagesmerch.com. You can go on there. We have a few t-shirts and stickers, and then the records for sale.
Cool. So that's awesome. So what is the name of the full-length record then?
Bandages. We are uncreative and just went with self-titled for the
cool.
first. Yes,
great.
Absolutely.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So tell me about the featuring Joe Gittleman part. Is that, how did you get connected with Joe, and what did he have to do? How was he involved in the writing process, or was it just more, here's the song, it's completely written, we just want you to come in and play on it? How did that all work?
So, our very good friend Sammy K, who lives in Cincinnati right now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with his work. He's done a lot of solo stuff. He has a project happening right now that's called The Kilograms, and that is with Joe Gittleman.
Okay.
So we played with them. Our bassist has had a musical crush on Joe Gittleman since he was like a young teenager.
Sure.
So he was, chatting with Joe, and Joe is just a standout, phenomenally nice person.
Awesome.
And when we were recording Perfect Hit, we were trying to figure out that backing vocal section, and the kind of like, bridge. And Wade said, I've just always loved Joe Gittleman's voice. And I'm like, well, we have a contact, so he reached out to Joe, and Joe he was like, yeah, I'll do that for you. So just exceptionally nice guy, just laid down the backing vocals for us.
Oh, cool.
He didn't have any hand in writing the song other than just doing the backing. So yeah.
That's great. That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
So how many songs then are on your new record?
11.
Okay. And if Yeah, I love the ambitiousness of your band already. Like to me, it seems and sounds and feels like you played your first show a year ago. You've been a band about a year.
Mhm.
So you probably, it sounds like you weren't a band for very long when you played your first show.
No, we were not, no, but we do have a background of all of us being in bands, like you said.
Yep.
I was in a street punk band in the early 2000s called The Messengers.
Okay.
We were on Punkcore Records, we did some touring, and had a record out. And then Wade was in 500 Miles to Memphis, which
Hmm.
had, pretty marked degree of success. Our drummer is in like 25 different
Of
bands
course, because
because he's a
drummers
drummer
are
and that's what
25 different
drummers
bands,
do.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, so um I had been in a very long-term relationship. I moved away from Cincinnati for several years.
Uh-huh.
Basically went through a divorce, moved back, and our bassist, Wade, I've known him since I was 19 years old. And he was like, "Do you want to do music again?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we all kind of met up. Wade and Brandon, our bassist and guitarist, have known each other. They're childhood friends. Brandon had like a stockpile of songs that he
Oh,
had just
okay,
been
got it.
sitting on.
Sure.
Yeah. And we got together and it just really clicked. Like all of us just really clicked. And really importantly, we had the same ideologies. We
Yeah.
have very similar beliefs. No lyrics that I've written, Brandon's written, anybody's written. None of us have been put off or offended, or, we have some songs that get pretty raw
Sure.
politically, I would say, but yeah, so it was just a really good match between all of us, which you know how rare that can be.
Yep. I sure do. The way you describe that reminds me of this band that I found. There's a local rag in Minneapolis called the City Pages that used to
Hmm.
exist. It's not around anymore, but it was like their music weekly, And they posted an ad in the back that they were looking for like a post-hardcore bass player, and they were fans of like Quicksand and Helmet. I'm like, okay, yes, like
Nice.
that's my thing. So let's go hang out with
Yeah.
these dudes. And yeah, it was just like an immediate thing. They had kind of a volume of stuff that they had together, and I had some ideas. And next thing you know, like in 3 months, we had an EP recorded. We released it. We booked our national tour starting in August that year. It was just like this insane intensity that just galvanized and showed up when we all finally came together, and we had all been a bunch of different bands. So I totally understand that sentiment. And yeah, that's like lightning in a bottle. Like when you find that, that is so precious and so rare that
Yes.
I'm just
Yeah.
so stoked for you all that you have that. Like again, I mean, and you're putting out a record. So I mean,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you got vinyl
Exactly.
coming out, and you have this connection together. So that's all really amazing.
It's been really cool. It's been really fun. And that was the thing, like we're all our drummer is almost in his 40s. He's not quite there yet, but all of us are in our 40s.
Sure.
It was like, let's do this fun side project that we'll play, one weekend a month, and it'll be just a fun way to like get emotions out and vent. And then people were like, "Wow, you guys are really good. Like you're really good."
Yeah.
So it's kind of taken off even beyond what we intentionally like set out for it to be,
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think, I've said this before, we went into it with no guardrails. We didn't say, post-hardcore. We didn't say
Sure.
street punk. We didn't say anything. We said we're going to write what we write and do what we like.
Yep.
Um and having all of those guardrails gone, I think has made just a really fun record. Perfect Hit comes off as very pop punk, in
It does.
my opinion. We have other songs that do sound a little bit more post-hardcore. We have some songs that sound a little bit more grunge.
Cool.
We don't really have it's not like a set sound that we're going after. It's kind of whatever falls on the table and works and sounds good.
That's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
super stoked to listen now to your entire record.
Yeah.
I mean, I really am. So I'm gonna make this. I don't know if this is embarrassing for me or not, and I don't really care. I really love the Billy Joel record Glass Houses just from when I was a kid. But that
Yeah.
whole album is like every song is so entirely different from the other
Yeah.
one. And I love records like that where it really just shows the the depth and the direction that an artist will take just kind of naturally and just let it be what it is instead of, no, we have to fit this completely specific thing, just like you said,
Absolutely.
so I celebrate that in y'all as well. And again, I'm super stoked for your record. So that's bandagesmerch.com. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay,
Hmm.
cool. And that's where I can buy the vinyl when the vinyl comes out, or should I get it
Yeah,
on?
or we can just send you a vinyl for having us on the.
Oh, wow. That'd be rad. Yep. I'll take it.
Yeah, you can
Thank
just
you.
email me your address. We'll get one sent out.
Please. That's amazing. Cool. So is there anything else specifically about the song? The recording process, who you recorded with, or any of that stuff that you want to get into and talk about? And no, is perfectly acceptable. Just curious
Yeah.
if there's
Oh,
more
yeah.
you want to
No,
say.
I definitely want to give a shout out. Ryan Malott, who was the singer of 500 Miles to
Yeah.
Memphis. He came and saw us at our first show. I mean, I think his exact words to Wade were like, "Well, you didn't tell me that you guys were really fucking good."
That's
So
awesome.
he was like, "Let's record an EP. Let's do 3, 4 songs." He's like,
Yeah.
"I'm really into it." We were like, "Cool." We did it at our practice space. Ryan came up, brought a bunch of equipment. We did 3 or 4 songs, and Ryan immediately was like, "This is not enough. It needs to be a full album." He's like,
Awesome.
You guys just need to do it." So he honestly, like, he volunteered so much time and so much energy. He did a lot of production on it as well. Um, I'm good at hearing melody. I'm not good at hearing vocal harmonies because once I get stuck in that melody, it's hard for me to think outside it. So
Sure.
Ryan is really good at writing harmonies. So a lot of the harmonies are his credit on the entire album.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, and he just added a few things in the background that I never would have thought, to add. And I spent so much time doing this for us. And we are like eternally grateful to him for taking the time to do that. He's been just awesome to work with and a super good guy.
That's awesome. And yeah, this just feels appropriate. I have to detour for 1 second and just give a
Mhm.
shout out to Jeff Howland from the band Houston in Minneapolis, who is exactly that guy for so many bands
Yeah,
in the Twin Cities area, where he just is so generous with his time and talent and ability, and yeah, can find magical vocal harmonies that you're like, wait, what? And then he
yeah.
records them for you, and oh, let's add some additional instrumentation you didn't ask about, and just is a brilliant dude. Like, I love that you're giving that, all the credit that you are. That's awesome.
Yeah, he literally he has a label called Sad Cowboy.
Okay,
There's
that's his
a few
label.
bands
Got
on
it.
it, in
Cool.
the Cincinnati area.
Yep.
Get Wrecked is another one who they're just awesome people. Veronica Grimm is on the label. But he literally started the label to record songs from a deceased bandmate.
Got it.
He thought that they needed to be put out, the songs needed to be made.
Yep.
So I mean it already comes from like a genuine great place.
Yeah.
So, and then he has just continued that generosity and has really helped out, several local bands.
That's amazing. That
Yeah,
is awesome. Yeah, awesome. Sad Cowboy Records. That's the label
Bad
that it's
Cowboy.
coming out
Yeah,
on. Okay, cool.
that's what we're on. Yeah,
Great.
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, let's do this. Let's take a quick break and come back and find out what is happening with y'all post your vinyl release and get into that. Cool.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. All right. Everybody hang out. We'll be back in just a minute. Thanks. All right, and we are here with Shannon Wilson from the band Bandages talking about the song Perfect Hit, or we were. So, Shannon, thank you so much. This has been such a fun, awesome, just good conversation for me to have after just, again, the technical crap I was just going through trying to get this episode going tonight. So I feel really good about all of this, and I want to hear so much more about what y'all are working on now that you got your record coming out. You have your LP release show coming up. What is the date of that, and where is it at?
So it'll be 12/20 literally this Friday,
Okay,
at Blind Bob's in Dayton, Ohio.
got it.
And
So
if you
all the
haven't seen a show at Blind Bob's, it is every bit of the traditional, like, amazing, grassroots venue that you can imagine. Their food is phenomenal. They've been really good to us. Another venue I have to stop and give a shout out
yeah,
to is the Southgate House Revival in Newport, Kentucky. Marilla that owns it is an absolute gem. She's been amazing to us. If you ever get a chance to see a show at Southgate House, definitely do it. It's a an old church, probably early 1900s with 3 rooms, 3 stages, a
Nice.
sanctuary is a whole stage. Yeah, it's just an incredible venue.
No, that's awesome. Unfortunately, all you listeners, this is probably coming out after Friday, so you missed their LP release show. But go look them up. Go look up the venue if you're in the regional area. Check it out. So both of those venues, so that go see shows and go support your local music. Um, so then, what happens after December 20th? I mean, I get we're at the end of the year, so 2025. Do y'all have like a plan of, or some kind of something sketched out about what you're trying to do? Is there a tour in the works? You ever come into Orlando to play Will's Pub because you should? Or are you going to try to play Fest next fall? Things
We
like
would
that.
love to be on Fest. If anybody can get us hooked up there, we would gladly come down to Florida to play. I know we have a little mini tour coming up in April with Take the Reins,
Okay.
which would be another great band if you've never spoken to them. Great band out of Chicago, really
Awesome.
really fun, really great people. So we're gonna do a little mini tour with them just around the Midwest.
Okay.
We're trying to book, a like little few day tours here and there. Luckily, Ohio is centrally located and we can
Yeah.
hit a lot of cities, pretty quickly. So yeah, if anybody's looking for booking or anything, in and around the Midwest, even towards the East Coast a little bit, we're definitely game. We do all have, grown-up jobs and everybody else has families, not me. I just have dogs. So
I get it.
we got to work around that. It's a lot different touring as an adult than it was, when I was 19. So
It sure is. It sure is. Yeah, it's different when you're like, yeah, I'll sleep on your floor. Like that's
oh my
cool,
God.
just rolling out for a month and like we're gonna come back broke and yeah, that doesn't fly so much. I gotta buy cat food for my cats.
We our first show we went on at 12:45 a.m.
Right,
and like literally the rest of the weekend I was wrecked. I used to stay up till 5 a.m.,
right.
sleep for 2 hours, and then go to work. I was like,
Yeah.
how did I ever do this? And now I'm like, it's late, guys. I'm so tired.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I was thinking about. I was reflecting on that recently. I'm like, wait a minute. There was a point in my life where I think I had band practice on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturdays. I worked a full-time job, worked a night job as a bartender, and opened a
Yes.
coffee shop on Saturday and Sunday mornings. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just give me one of those and I'm exhausted. Yeah, but no, that's
Right.
funny. Just yeah,
Now I'm
how
like, I
things
need a
change as
day
we get
just to
older,
like stare at the wall and do nothing
right? Just like
to
reabsorb
recover.
the energy again and refocus. And here we go. Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
get it.
getting old is it's incredible.
That's fun. Well, no, that's awesome. So, where are the best places for all our listeners that are super stoked to come find you? Where should they go? So, is it best spot to keep track of you on Instagram, or is it just following you on Bandcamp or the bandagesmerch.com?
We have Bandcamp. Instagram is probably where you're going to get most of our show postings. So
Okay,
we are bandages_music
cool.
on Instagram. We've been trying to blow it up on TikTok. I don't know how many days we have left of TikTok now. Maybe a month is
Yeah,
if
right.
they do pull the plug.
Yep.
But I think we're Bandages Music on TikTok. But yeah, we're on Facebook too. I know nobody uses Facebook anymore, but probably Instagram is the best.
Cool. Okay. Well, I'll be sure to make sure that everybody knows where to go find you guys and where to go get your record. But yeah, I'm super stoked to hear it. I'm super excited for your LP release show. I'm super excited for your mini tour next year. Hopefully, see you down at Fest in Gainesville next fall. That'd be awesome if
We'd love it.
you
Yeah.
get that cooked up. But Shannon, thank you so much for taking the time to come again and talk to me about this because it's such a surprise. Like I love hearing from bands that I may not be familiar with, and then just to get blindsided by their music and just fall in love with it right away. It's like it's such a beautiful thing, and just thanks again for being so open and out there.
All we can hope for in these politically turbulent times is for really good punk rock to come back, and that's all I want.
I hear it. I hear it.
If we can get anything, at least we can have really good punk rock.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Well, awesome. Well, thank you again. And and next time you guys put something out, if you want to come back and talk about it, hit me up and we'll do it again.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds great.
Three Crows Club presents B-Side Breakdown.
All right, and that wraps up another episode of the B-Side Breakdown. I want to thank Shannon Wilson from the band Bandages for coming along to talk about their song Perfect Hit. I also want to thank Adam Coulong and Carrie Bozel for helping me put together the jingle you hear at the beginning and the end of this episode. In the background, you're hearing a song from a band called Via Sky called Lullaby. If you dig it, go listen to the previous episode because that's what it was all about. Up next, I got John Snodgrass coming along to talk about his trio of songs called Ghost Trilogy. Really looking forward to talking to John. Please subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I can't thank you enough for your ongoing support. And I'll give you a taste of Ghost Trilogy from John Snodgrass here in a second. Be safe while you're out there, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.
You called them bad times, but they was the best times. Really miss that friend of mine. Want to see him shine.